Ladies and gentlemen, you are currently in the loop with Max Wingrove. Got a very special guest today. I'm here with Jayden Pozzolo, aka TheMupppetMaster. How we doing, man?
I want to die.
Don't we all? Now, your channel, I just wanted to talk briefly about it, is that it's one of the most creative channels I've seen in terms of my friends who make YouTube, right? Like you do not conform to any of the mainstream trends or anything like that, and I really admire that. What were you thinking when you were starting the channel?
Filthy Frank.
Oh yes, I can see that now. I can see that.
Something creative because of how low effort it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, what was it? I think your last post, it might have been 2 years ago. It was the possession one, not the possession, the ritual one, or
yeah.
whatever, right?
Okay, so that's only half the video. The main part of the video, didn't record, and I was just like, to hell with it. I'm posting it anyway. I put this much effort.
Okay.
I bought Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So I binged all of the videos in like preparation for this. What's it called? I can't say anything is. I don't know how to critique any of it. It's not meant to be critiqued, of course, but it's just so out there that you watch it and you're just entertained by it. It's the kind of content I feel like it's impossible to say anything bad about it because it's so freaking, it's like an acid trip. It's like you're watching a YouTube acid trip.
Yeah. Well, how I used to plan videos was I'd be like, all right, here's my idea. Let's see where it goes. We're spitballing. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd have like a light script, like
the Bigfoot video.
Yeah. When we first started recording that, I told Liam we'd walk out because he was the one who played Shrook.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting him to have his hands down his pants. And I walked out and I was actually like, what?
Wait, what? I didn't see that. Is that...
I know, you didn't get it very well in the video. Like, the thing with those videos is they were more fun to record than to watch.
Okay, I see. Well, I guess that's part of the fun of watching it, like knowing that you guys had a blast making it. Like, that Egg War one with Mad Dog. Tell me a little bit about that one. Who was the other person in the video? I didn't actually recognize
that. Was my friend Fat Jayden. I privated a bunch of videos on my account. It used to be just gameplay videos where I talked to Fat Jayden.
Oh, really?
He was the one who actually got me into video making because he had a YouTube channel before that called Royal Jays.
Oh,
and
okay.
He would make videos with his friend. But then we just started doing kind of I guess podcast things where I'd play a video game and we just kind of talk about a subject.
Okay.
And later we made the Taco Bell video.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah,
okay, that one. Was it really as bad as you made it look like?
I hated it. It was actually gross. He didn't tell me what he ordered, so he gave me this taco. I wasn't expecting anything. I was expecting maybe chicken, cheese. I bite into it and I feel a crunch, and I'm like, what the hell is it?
Was it sofrita or?
It was a Cheeto.
Oh my god, yeah. So I guess that's what they were doing at the time, is they wanted to put Cheetos in it?
Yeah, it was not a good idea.
Oh man. Not a sponsor, Taco Bell. Definitely not. Well, you see, in terms of Taco Bell, I think the only stuff I've ever tried was, I want to say, the plain quesadilla. Otherwise, I just went to the KFC side. Because that's always together, right?
Yeah.
I don't even love KFC that much either. It's just, I prefer that. Otherwise, I can't really say much about Taco Bell just because I've never really gorged on it. I think I just ate it because I was super, super hungry. And there was one more. There was one more video. It was, what was it? The Christmas special one.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? You started out by making tin can of, what was it?
It was
Alphagettis?
Alphabet soup.
Yeah.
Like vegetable soup, and I put some ramen in it.
Right. So I just want to ask you, do you ever think about posting again?
I was thinking of doing a 37 subscriber special.
37. But you at 40. You're in the 40s, aren't you?
I do? What?
Yeah, you're in the 40s.
Oh god.
Yeah, 47 or something like that.
No way.
Yeah.
I haven't checked in a little while, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was over at your place a while ago, Conrad said something about you needing, like, what was it, a co-host or something like that, and I was thinking like, oh, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel, so would you probably keep doing the same kind of content, or what would you be doing? Anything?
Yeah, actually, I wrote a script 2 years ago for my next video, and I was gonna do the video with Royce, but he kept canceling on me, and eventually after like 3 months he told me he didn't want to do it.
Man, Royce, that's somebody I hadn't seen in a long time.
I know, but I think I found a new co-host, Ryan.
Ryan. Oh.
Yeah, I think he said he wants to do it with me, but I haven't actually planned a day.
Is it like, would it be like like a co-host?
Like, okay, so my idea for the video is I'm blindfolded and I'm geocaching, and he's got to tell me if I'm hot or cold, and he's got to hide what I'm finding.
Geocaching.
And I'm going to do it in the ravine.
The ravine, where's the ravine?
Next to the school.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that would be a good location, I guess, yeah.
Lots of hazards, lots of falling. I thought that might be fun.
Yeah, well, I think you should post again, man. I mean, yeah, you have subscribers that you don't even know about, bro. And then, especially that Bigfoot video is probably my favorite one, because, like, it started off by, like, let's go on a trek for Bigfoot, and then it ended up being... what was Liam's character name?
Shrew.
So, as soon as I saw him with the box on his head, I was like, this is genius.
That was the only thing that we could find that was green.
The box.
Yeah. We found it in the recycling bin, like, by the school.
That's so good. Anyway, yeah, so go subscribe to the Muppet Master. He might be recording and uploading soon. So, anyway, so the next topic is comics, which I haven't talked about in a long time on my channel since 2017. And we're both avid comic readers. I mean, I think we've both been on and off, haven't we?
Yeah,
just because...
I haven't read any for a little while now.
Right. But, I don't know whose collection is bigger, yours or mine.
I haven't seen yours, so...
Oh, okay, well, you can see it after. It's one shelf, and then I have, like, a desk where I put all my Marvel books, and then some, like, miscellaneous Dark Horse stuff or whatever. It's not the biggest thing ever, but, it's sizable.
You haven't even seen all my collection. You haven't seen my my issues.
Yeah, right. You're like 3 frickin' boxes.
5.
What?
There's 5.
Dude.
Somewhere in my closet. And I still got some comics at my mom's, since she kicked me out.
Right, yeah. Man, issues. You know what? I could never bring myself to actually collect issues. I have some single issues, like I think like maybe 30 of them. Mm-hmm. It would like, I would spiral into a hole, and my bank account would be nada. Like, I would just kill all the money I've accumulated over the many years or whatever. It would consume everything. That's how I was starting with comics and also buying movies. That's all I did, was just go around and look for stuff I can buy.
That was me with video games and comics.
Yeah, you know what? We've all been there, and I think single issues, that's dangerous. That is a dangerous game for me.
My plan with collecting single issues wasn't to go for what everyone else is buying. Go for the cheap shit. So I look mostly into 90s comics, because that's when the comics boom was happening.
Yeah.
So everything was printed a couple million times over.
Right.
And that's where everything's the cheapest right now.
And you know what? 90s stuff, okay, I'm gonna be real with you. It's my least favorite stuff in terms of DC and Marvel. I don't like 90s stuff necessarily because it was just over the top, but that's also why people love it. Like, like they had Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane taking over, and it was nuts, over muscled and crazy colors. It was such a shift from the 80s, Watchmen and V and whatnot. But I do love some stuff from the 90s, mainly Vertigo stuff, like Preacher and Constantine and stuff.
Have you read Why the Last Man? Is that from the 90s?
Just
early 2000s?
That's early 2000s, I believe. And yeah, I have all 5 books upstairs. I don't have the absolute editions. I wish I did, but
I didn't even know there was absolute versions.
Okay, yeah, no, there's 3 of them because they have to split it up in that way. But yeah, no, Why the Last Man? I wouldn't say it is one of my favorites of all time, but I think it deserves to be on a list. Pretty much any list of the best of all time, because I know how good it is. Mm-hmm. I know how freaking well written it is. I know how, the characters are just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I haven't gotten too far in that series because I haven't been buying a lot of comics lately. I've just been going to the library and hoping I get lucky with things.
Okay, the library. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time around there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it saved me a lot of money so far,
mm-hmm.
and I read most of The Walking Dead from either the school library or the public library.
Yeah.
And my only problem with it is waiting for things to come in order.
Oh yeah, like I was trying to read The Sixth Gun or something like that. I think they had volumes 4, 5, and 2 just on the shelves forever, and the person never brought the other ones back. I'm like, but why are you reading 1, 3, and the rest? Like, what the crap is this?
I wanted to take out 100 Bullets yesterday, because I heard that's good.
By Azzarello? Is it Azzarello?
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just heard it's a good series, and also Akira, and only books 2 and up were there.
Right. Okay.
So I couldn't even start the series, even if I wanted to.
That is a pain in the ass, man. Yeah. What was I gonna say? So I think Why the Last Man. If you started reading it, where did you stop approximately?
I'm just gonna. Since I read different formats of the book, I was just going off issues, so somewhere around issue 30.
Okay, so not necessarily. I think I don't remember how the issues are split up into the volumes. I feel like you're somewhere around volume 3. Like, have you gotten to the whole boat subplot or the whole boat plot?
Yeah.
Where Agent 355 and Dr. Goddamn.
Oh man, Dr. Man.
Yeah, and they
and he's with the captain, and they're selling the heroin and shit.
Okay, so you're past there. Yeah, I think after that it slows down a bit until the end.
Okay, I think that's where I stopped actually.
Okay. So I think volume 4 is the slowest one. When they go to a different country, they go to, I don't want to spoil it necessarily, but they go to a different country, and I think volume 4 took a little bit to get through.
Is it Australia?
I think it's Japan.
I think I just got there then.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. The ending gave me a heart attack. I remember thinking when I was reading it, and I turned the page, and I actually went, oh, I was just I realized I was like, wait, this comic is actually getting to me. This series is getting to me. I should give it more credit because I just went through the slow part, so I was kind of just wanting to get through the rest of the series. Mm-hmm. And then I just forgot that I was getting so sucked into it because Volume 5 is, I think, by far my favorite. Nah, Volume 2 is my favorite, but Volume 5, it ends sort of abruptly, but it's a good kind of
satisfying.
I guess. I mean, it's like you're reading a dream near the end. I don't know why. It's like stuff all of a sudden just starts going to shit at the end. And then the last issue, I hated it at first. I freaking hated it. And then I read it again, and then I was writing my review for it, and I was like, you know what? I know why they wrote the last issue the way they did, and I like it now.
Okay.
Because it brings everything full circle. I think the fact is just because I was so bored, I was just like, why are they going this different direction? I don't want to read this right now. So yeah, if you ever get going with the series again, get through all of the Japan stuff. If it's Japan, I want to say it's Japan. And then the ending will definitely, give you what you want.
Yeah, I find with a lot of really good series, there's just one part, like maybe one book that you just have to muscle through. Mm-hmm. For me, I think in Hellboy, it was just getting through the walls of text in
Volume 1? Oh,
yeah.
Seed of... Yeah, thank you. Finally, someone who agrees with me, because...
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy that story, and it's probably one of my favorite Hellboy stories.
Just because, it set everything up.
Yeah, it's the setup for everything. It leads into Plague of Frogs, it leads Hellboy on his adventure,
mm-hmm.
and it just introduces Rasputin and all the other Nazi doctors and stuff.
Rasputin was mainly not the problem, but why we were kind of like...
Yeah, the walls of text, different language, what am I reading?
It's almost like I was reading a comic from the 30s.
Yeah.
Where, they just had to say everything they were thinking.
Paid by the word.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
right.
how they used to be, actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay, then no kidding. I wouldn't really.
Well, the reason that there was so much exposition and, text in that, you know how Hellboy had text, thought bubbles?
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a remnant of The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah, The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh.
Because Batman would always be I can feel the pain,
or I show him a kick, or he shows me a fast kick, or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly that. And it was after the comics industry was trying to recover from that by but not recover. They were trying to mimic it to have the same success.
Mm.
That was one of the only volumes of the main Hellboy story that was written by a different author.
Right, not Mignola.
Yeah.
Okay, I do remember this now. It's all coming back to me. After Seed of Destruction, what is the next story?
Oh god.
I don't know.
Almost Colossus? No.
Almost Colossus is, I think it's my favorite is The Wild Hunt, but Almost Colossus is definitely just under it.
That's definitely up there for me too.
Mm-hmm. It's The Wolves of St. August.
Yes, I love that one. That might be my favorite.
Okay, alright, yeah. It's short and sweet and freaking, it's just genius stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also when, I think Mignola's art... Is it Mignola?
I think it's Mignola.
Mignola, yeah, whatever. I think his art, is the best near the beginning. I feel like it's sort of like a Frank Miller thing, in the 80s and stuff, in the 70s, his art was just amazing. It's The Dark Knight Returns, that's my favorite kind of art style of all time. Mm-hmm. So, in the beginning of Hellboy, Mignola. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I usually say Mignola, but I'll say Mignola for the sake of argument. His art is a lot more detailed, because once you get into Hellboy in Hell, you can tell, the detail has dropped substantially.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard that has some of the best artwork. I haven't read it yet.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the artwork, but there's just something about it that's not the same. If you compare stuff... I don't really know how to explain it, but you'll be like, oh yeah, no, I can definitely see the difference.
Okay.
I think it was just, stuff in his prime, or... Well, I don't know when Mignola was in his prime, but I feel like it was some...
Batman by Gaslight.
Oh, Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that story too.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
I took it out from the library, and it had 2 stories in it.
Mm-hmm.
The first story I really liked. That's the one where he fights Jack the Ripper.
The second one was boring.
I know, I couldn't stand the second one.
It was the dude with the freaking blimp or whatever it was.
Yes, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. If you're gonna read that, just read the first half. Do yourself a favor.
That is the best steampunk Batman story, I think.
I didn't know there was multiple.
Oh yeah, well I think the other 2 I've read sucked balls as well. It was I didn't think Snyder wrote them. Whoever it was just stuff that came out in 2016 during Rebirth.
Okay.
And they tried to go a different route. It was just bad. It was bad. Anyway, the Gotham by Gaslight. Just touch on that real quick. I can't remember. Oh yeah, no, that book I was super hyped for because when I found out about it, I was like, I gotta get that now because I want to see what this is like. Batman vs. Jack the Ripper. Hell yeah. And I read it in probably one sitting. I should have anyway because it's like short, it's 48 pages or something like that. I read it in one sitting, and I guess I was blown away by it. I can't remember my genuine reaction. All I know is by the end, I think I was getting a little nervous while reading it, just because I was pretty sucked in.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your opinion on that story?
Honestly, I really liked it. I can't remember specific parts of it, but I remember enjoying it a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think it's actually it's done. There's one thing about it that's done really well, and it doesn't hold your hand for you. It doesn't give you the obvious hints that you need. Mm-hmm. So there's this one scene where the police go to Wayne Manor because they're seeing if Bruce Wayne is Jack the Ripper and whatnot, because that was all the speculation. And there's this one panel of the police chief, which is like Officer Tolliver or something like that, standing beside a clock, and it doesn't tell you anything, but you just know that that's where the suit is being hidden.
Yeah, because it's shown there before, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not like, they were standing right beside the entrance or whatever. It doesn't blow smoke up your ass or anything. It just it's subtle, but it also you get it when you see it. It's like that old I guess it was a meme, but it was like once you see it, it's the hamburger bun with the sesame seeds and it makes a face. I don't know, that's very 2010 kind of stuff.
I can't even remember that. I know once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So,
I don't know the one that you're specifically talking about.
That was not a very good analogy, but, Mignola.
Have you read Baltimore?
No.
Very good story, actually. I've read the first book. I'm going to pick up the omnibus first.
Yeah.
It's set outside of the Hellboy universe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Have you read it?
No. I have not.
Well, it takes place right after World War One.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I explain? It's got vampires. There's one guy, vampire lord kills his family.
Mm-hmm.
So he just wants to kill that one vampire lord. But it's got a different tone from the Hellboy books, whereas Hellboy books, the world is going to hell, but there's people trying to save it.
Okay.
Whereas in Baltimore, the world is going to hell and nobody's doing a damn thing.
Oh, alright.
This one guy is on a personal vendetta against one vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Once he's done that, he's out.
Oh, okay, so just no concern for anything that's going on around him.
And people are dying from disease left and right.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing the covers for that. I never read it though, because I went through. The only thing I've read besides Hellboy was BPRD, a little bit of BPRD, and I think some of Abe Sapien, but that's it. And I didn't even finish BPRD. I don't think I moved on to something else at the time. That I think that's my stance on that. In terms of the other stuff in the Hellboy universe. Lobster Johnson?
Yes, I actually just picked up Volume 2 yesterday from the library.
Really?
I read Volume 1. I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay.
Those are for you, by the way. Because I want you to read them. You said you wanted to read them.
Okay. Very good.
Did you read Volume 2?
Yes. No. I got through.
I brought Volume 2 as well.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know if you read Volume 2.
No, I did read Volume 2, and I think I got through 3, and then that's about it. So I'm like, you actually gave me the right books. Oh wait, no, here's 3. Let's see if I remember anything from 3.
I like 3 a lot. 3 was, I kind of knew what happened in it, but it still surprised me nonetheless.
Yeah, I do remember this.
You do? What's his name? I want to Daryl. I like Daryl. He's Wendigo.
Yeah.
He's introduced in I think one of the Hellboy short story books, but he comes back in this.
I don't remember anything about volume 2 of the short stories. What were they named?
There was actually, that's the one that had the corpse.
Wow, I don't remember anything about that.
That one has the one with the witch. Do you remember it was like 3 issues that has the witches?
I have this book upstairs. Sort of.
The Crooked Man?
Oh, the Crooked Man. So that's the one with... oh, yeah, that's also a very, very acclaimed short. Okay, I do remember that now.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one. I've only read that one once. I was rereading Hellboy, and I was just kind of focusing on the main Hellboy, but I just skimmed the short stories I remembered.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that at that point, yeah. I think the corpse... I think it is my favorite, but I think it was hyped up for so long for me because I took so long to read all the other Hellboy stuff that I was just, when I got to the corpse, I was like, that was too short. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I saw an interesting thing about it. It was since it was released in 2-issue pages.
Mm-hmm.
Every 2 issues has like a rising it's almost got like a 3-act structure within each 2 pages, where it's like the action something happens at the beginning to like set things in motion. The thing is done and then it wraps up.
Okay, I see.
And it leads to the story being really fast paced.
Right, yeah. You can blaze through them.
Yeah, I don't know. I like other Hellboy stories more than The Corpse, but I'm not gonna say it's a bad story.
No. I like the Mexico one.
I didn't care for most of Mexico. I liked the one where he has the wrestling match, but I found it too slow.
Too slow, okay. How about the one with the man? It's like a man who was like doing something with his house.
Oh yeah, the coins.
Coins.
Every time he killed a person for the house. Yeah. I laughed so hard at that.
Like when he got crushed by a giant freaking thing made of coins. Okay, I that one got surprisingly gory. I was like, holy shit.
I love that.
And what was the last story in that collection?
Oh god, I didn't bring it because I thought you had it here.
I do have it here, but I think I think the last story I also really liked. So, wait, hold on. You said you haven't gotten to Hellboy in Hell yet?
No, I'm waiting to finish Abe Sapien, but I can't pull myself to read Abe Sapien, and I'm following the list. I forget what it is.
You're following the chronological order or whatever?
So I'm gonna read Hell on Earth Volume 1 and 2, and then Hellboy in Hell.
I've actually never done that before.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually never gone on a actual chronological order. I just kind of read Hellboy all the way through. I don't know why, I just, that's how I usually do things. Even if I buy tie-ins, I read those after, which I shouldn't do, but, for DC Metal, I read, you remember that?
Yeah.
I read all the tie-ins in between the issues, because the issues took so long to come out. It's not like Doomsday Clock long, but it's still long.
I haven't read that yet. I've got the deluxe edition, but I haven't. Dark Knight's Metal.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know, I feel like whenever I look back on it, I'm like, it was alright, but I know I gave it a really good score on Goodreads.
Okay.
I probably gave it somewhere between 4 stars, something like that, which is good, and I probably gave it like A- altogether, but I read it in single issues, in between a bunch of other stuff, so I think the impact was lessened, plus, I don't know, Scott Snyder, he has to write stuff like at the end, it's like everyone, it's the kind of ending where everyone just walks into the sunset and everyone holds hands and sings Kumbaya and whatever. It's too perfect of an ending. But it was cool.
I don't think I like his writing that much. I started reading Batman Court of Owls.
Okay.
And just the intro turned me off so much I couldn't read the rest.
Oh wait, you haven't done Batman New 52?
No, I haven't.
Oh shit! Okay, so you don't. Wait, hold up. I'm not gonna say you should read it necessarily because if you didn't like the intro, then the whole thing's like that pretty much.
But I'll give it another try sometime, just not right away.
Like I want you to get to Death of the Family.
I know about that one actually.
Okay, because that one I remember when I was little, whatever little was, because it came out in 2012.
So you must have been like 4 years old.
Yeah. I remember thinking like I'm a sick person for reading and enjoying this. Like that's how messed up it got. It's not like, you know, it's still you can read it if you're like 10 or 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But it still was like miles above the Court of Owls stuff in terms of how gruesome it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not every story needs to be gruesome to be good, though.
Absolutely not, no. Although, in terms of Scott Snyder, have you read the Black Mirror?
No.
Okay, so that's, I think, in my top 10 comics of all time. It's Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson is Batman because of the whole Omega Sanction thing that happened at the end of Darkseid War. I presume. I never read Darkseid War. Black Mirror was, I think, my favorite comic of the year. I think it might have been that. Or did I read V for Vendetta that year? I probably did, and that probably topped it. But Black Mirror is freaking genius. It is amazing. I think people like it so much now just because they do. It's like, it's the second coming of Christ to most people. I think it can be overhyped at, like, in some respect, but it's so good. I can't even explain how much I love it. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So is that your favorite Batman story?
No, my favorite Batman story is my favorite story of all time,
right.
which is, it was just DKR.
I need to reread that, but I think my favorite Batman story at this moment is either Under the Red Hood or Hush.
Hush. Yeah, I remember you saying Hush. Under the Red Hood I also really love. I love it even though a lot of people hate it.
Do people hate it? I haven't heard anyone hate it.
Yeah. No, I with the reviews I've read, it was all 2 stars, 3 stars. And then I watched, there's this channel called Comic Pop, and I remember I was like, oh my god, they're reviewing, or they're talking about Under the Red Hood, this is like my dream come true, and they trashed it. And I was like, fuck, So, it's definitely a controversial one, but yeah, I think we both can agree with that. It's a great story, especially the dialogue at the end.
Yeah.
What does he say?
God, I'm in the middle.
Your lack of judgment. I don't know what's worse. Your antiquated sense of morality, or your whatever.
I know that's what Jason says, right?
Jason, yeah. The one thing I don't like about that story is there's a really forced thing where the entire city of Bloodhaven gets bombed.
I don't even remember that, man.
It was right before Batman was about to start fighting Jason and, had the Joker tied up or whatever.
Yeah. There
was this, like, bioweapon thing that was just dropped from a plane.
Just randomly?
Yeah.
Or
it was out of nowhere. It was out of nowhere. And it blew up Bloodhaven. And, that's where Dick Grayson lives or whatever.
Yeah.
And Batman looks...
It would make sense if Red Hood had caused something in Bloodhaven just to keep Nightwing off his back, because last time that both Batman and Nightwing went after him, right?
We just wrote the story better. I'm saying, not the whole story, but we just wrote that part of the story better.
Yeah, like, what if he just caused something, because in Red Hood sees himself more as an anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to cause, like when he's dealing with the drug dealers, he says not to sell to children. And then when they continue to sell to children, he kills them.
Yeah, so like chopping off their heads or whatever it was, right? Was that what... Yeah, no, and I think also what's so compelling about Red Hood is that I think he knows what he's doing is, like, wrong. Because, he was with Batman for so long that he must know right from wrong, but he's just like, your way's not working anymore, Bruce, so I'm just going to do what has to be done, even though in the back of my mind I think that what you're doing is right, like morally right. So anyway, I know we've been jumping around here a lot, but I just wanted to talk about one series that you haven't read. I know is before Watchmen came out. Where's the date here?
I think it was 2008, right?
2008? Oh, okay. I guess it's older than I thought, and I only read it 2 years ago. My review says 2017.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
When was it released? I know it's been around for a while.
It says published July 2nd, 2013 by DC Comics.
Oh, okay. So I don't know why I thought 2008.
I think your guess is as good as mine in terms of that, but is Watchmen, like, do you agree with, like, you know, the masses? Is that Watchmen is basically just magic?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Young me didn't like it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Just because now that I'm a bit older, I can deal with slower paced stories and the walls of text within Watchmen. Yeah. Like, especially after reading Hellboy, which is always, like, kind of slow paced, meandering.
Yeah.
It doesn't, just because it has that doesn't make it bad. But now looking back at Watchmen, I have fonder memories of it. Like, especially the one issue, I think it was issue 8 of Dr. Manhattan, where he's on Mars and he's talking about...
that was issue 4.
That was issue 4?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know why I bother.
No, it's all good, it's all good.
But yeah, just how he, like, drops... I think he drops the picture to the ground and he just explaining how he thinks of time. Mm-hmm. And how everything is happening at the same time.
Right, yeah. It's brilliant. It's just... It's like one little thing, like a picture, can spark an entire mini-series. Like, you could have written an entire mini-series about Dr. Manhattan on Mars, and I would have read it. I would have read it happily.
Yeah.
Before Watchmen came out, and of course fans of the original book back in 1986 were just like, no, this is a disgrace, and Alan Moore was just wanting to kill everybody at DC.
Well, yeah, he doesn't even watch his movies because he says that the only reason that media is, like, put it into, like, different formats is to make more money.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's from that one interview where he's not in Los Angeles, or wherever it was. And I'm in the same boat, of course, for Watchmen and his other books, like V for Vendetta or whatever. I agree. I know what he's saying. Like, he wants it to be his thing. Like, once you make a Watchmen movie, it's now Zack Snyder's. It's not his thing anymore, necessarily. So I can see where he's coming from. And I did watch the movie before I read the comic.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, yeah, good. And I didn't love the movie, and then I watched it again at somebody's birthday. I think it was Shoria's. And I was like, oh my god, this movie is amazing. And then I remember I was just like, this is based on, like, the greatest comic of all time. I should probably read it before I get too comfortable with this movie. So I read the comic. I read it in, like, under 2 weeks. I just freaking blazed through it. The pages were on fire. I didn't do any homework. I did nothing besides reading that book and going to school and just barely paying attention at school because I was just, I want to read this book.
That was literally me with Walking Dead.
Right, yeah. That's such an addictive series from what I know, yeah.
Did you know for the Watchmen movie there was going to be animated sections of the Black Freighter?
The Black Freighter thing? Yeah, I just recently watched a thing about that. I can't remember the video, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I feel like, do you think that would have been a good decision?
Honestly, in the comic, I didn't enjoy the Black Freighter that much, so...
Oh, neither did I. No, I knew, I was like, I'm not going to skip over this because I know it's going to, it's going to mean something.
Be relevant.
Yeah, and it did pay off, but yeah, I agree. It was
kind of... too much build-up for what it was, which is more like a allegory almost for what was happening with Ozymandias.
Yeah, so I'm not going to dog it. I know that it's definitely... like, just, it's part of the story and it needs to be there. But every time I saw and I turned the page and it wasn't the main story, I'm like...
Did you read the walls of text in between each issue?
Oh, all the
like the newspaper?
whose journal was it?
There was either it kind of juggled them. It was
it was like Nightwing's mentor.
Yes.
What's his freaking name?
God.
No, how am I forgetting this? Damn. Well, whatever. I did. I remember I read the first one, and I remember I got onto the page, and I was just like, don't toss this aside too quick. Mm-hmm. So I read it, and then I was just like, no, that's good stuff as well. But I don't blame you if you wanted to skip over that.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, good.
There was another series that I did that with, and I didn't find it as meaningful as it was in Watchmen, but I read it anyway, and there's probably more text in that. It was Earth X.
Oh, so the Marvel Earth X kind of thing? Oh, okay, I see.
I enjoyed that story. I found it at just like a random like thrift store, and I'm like, okay.
Wait, so Captain America like carved an A into his head or whatever? That story? Yeah, okay.
And like Red Skull as a little kid.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I never read it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, the story isn't focused around them.
No?
No, it's focused around Uatu. The Watcher.
Oh, okay.
And X-51, I think his name was, who is a robot. And he was going to replace the Watcher because I think the Watcher became blind.
Okay, I see.
And it's pretty much, a lot of it's just perceiving the universe throughout the years. Like, it goes back to, like, the Stone Ages, or before that even. And it's a lot of cosmic stuff.
Yeah, you can definitely tell even by the covers.
Yeah. And I don't know how I feel about it now, but I enjoyed it then. Mm-hmm. But I don't, it's not exactly the stuff I'd be into now, because a lot of it has, like, the Inhumans.
Do you like the Inhumans?
No.
Okay, well, no, I think that's on my list. Earth X, among the million other things I have to read. I thought that it was, of course, I thought it was illustrated by Alex Ross, because I was a dumbass.
Was it?
No.
The covers were.
The covers were, yeah. Not the actual interiors, though. Like, you know, Marvels and Kingdom Come and stuff. Yeah. Like, that's all.
I couldn't read Marvels. I didn't like it.
Oh, you couldn't get through it? I can definitely see why you didn't like it, because it's not, you know, it's not from the perspective of the heroes, it's from the perspective of the
photographer.
The photographer, thank you.
It wasn't because it wasn't from the perspective of a hero.
Yeah.
It was just because, man, I don't know.
Just wasn't interesting, wasn't gripping?
Wasn't gripping for me.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see why you'd say that.
Like, stories like Why the Last Man and Walking Dead, they don't need superheroes to be interesting.
No.
But maybe that's a poor comparison.
Well, I think the thing with Marvels is that it's not necessarily, it doesn't have like an obvious 3-act structure. Like, nothing really builds. It's just a big timeline of like when heroes did what. It
felt like it was like this guy goes about his life and he's like, wow, that happened.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. What was I gonna say? So, in terms of 2013, in terms of before Watchmen, I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4. I enjoyed 4 of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's a 9th, and then there's a bunch of other stuff that is like, it's like Moloch.
Isn't there before Watchmen?
Oh god, don't even guess. I don't know.
I think I remember seeing that, but I might be just dumb. Quite possibly.
Like, you know Moloch, right? The old, disheveled, cancer-ridden...
Yes, and comedian...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. There's a short story about him. There's Dollar Bill, who got, strangled by a revolving door.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of side stuff about that. Yeah, it's just... It wasn't too great. I think before Watchmen, as a whole, was... I didn't think it was garbage. It was just... It was, like, full of itself. It was a full of... they had their heads up their ass for the entire series. I think Volume 1... before Watchmen, Minutemen and Silk Spectre, by far the best.
Okay.
Silk Spectre is a good story. It's like a coming of age thing, and you definitely get a lot more character development between her and her mom. But Minutemen, I'm gonna say it, I think it's a masterpiece.
Really?
Oh yeah, it is so. It was so surprising. Yeah, like I said, letter grade A+.
Wow. I think the concept of being before Watchmen is an interesting concept because it's an interesting world.
Yeah.
It's a world where people don't have superpowers except for, what's his face? Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And the people just die. Like, the one guy who gets strangled in the door.
Yeah, right.
The people get taken away.
It's not glamorous. It's not... That was the whole point of Watchmen. It was to make it real. It was to make it not mainstream.
Yeah. There was Silk Spectre who didn't even want to do it to be a hero. She just wanted to kickstart her modeling career.
Right. Oh, that's so... oh, man. This is all coming back to me. I'm like, that's so good. And then she just kind of fell into it. So, yeah, I think Minutemen is so underrated. Nobody talks about this story, ever. I've never heard anybody talk about it besides a couple people on YouTube that thought it was okay. I don't know why. I remember it's like it was one of those books where I didn't think about anything else while I was at school. I just wanted to go home and read that freaking book. Because I was just flying through it, and it was the characters are so much better than I expected. Like, there's a lot of characters that you already know, like the comedian and Silk Spectre, but Hollis Mason, that's his name.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think he's the narrator, or it's his point of view. And, he goes through love and loss and whatnot just in that team. Like, there's this romance that goes on that's in the book, and it's one of the best romances I've ever read in a comic period. It was handled so well because it wasn't cliche. It was just, it didn't conform to any kind of structure. It was just what it was, and it was amazing. Also, I was trying to say it was written and illustrated by Darwin Cook.
I don't know him.
Okay, well, he's like, one of the legends or whatever that he passed away in 2016. RIP. He did stuff for New Frontier, Richard Stark's Parker, which I did read. Parker was okay, yeah. The New Frontier?
Is that Walking Dead New Frontier?
No, DC New Frontier.
Oh, then no.
Yeah, I know. This story. Right?
I don't read a lot of DC, actually.
Okay, yeah.
I'm mostly Marvel, but now I've been just kind of going to a bit, like, more Mignola, and, like, I like The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm. So it's a...
Dark Horse and Image.
Image, thank you. You read my mind, huh? Okay, and then the rest of the story is, like, Night Owl and Dr. Manhattan. Night Owl was entertaining, even though I know it was stupid. Even though I know it was bad, I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
Dr. Manhattan, you can tell, I think J. Michael Straczynski wrote it. I can tell that story took forever to write. It was so analytical. Like, it was what precise. A Dr. Manhattan story would be like. Mm-hmm. Ozymandias was weird as hell. It was strange. Comedian was terrible. like the comedian, he's the character where he's good when he's with other characters, but you don't care about him because he's a terrible person, right? So when you have this, 100+ pages of him in Vietnam, just like
beating up pregnant women.
It's just it sucked to read. It was so boring. And like, how many pages did they go without referencing that he might have killed Kennedy? Like 2 pages. They hint at it, but okay. I was thinking, like, how many pages can they go without mentioning that? It was page 4.
Wow.
Rorschach was better than the comedian, even though it was like the most bland vanilla ice cream you can possibly imagine. It was just gore for the sake of gore.
It's really surprising that those two are the worst, because they're the ones that I would probably look forward to the most.
Right, exactly.
Because I think Rorschach was probably my favorite character in the story.
Yeah, I think most of us can agree, yeah.
But, I mean, how much can you really get out of... Like, the Watchmen consists of Night Owl. I don't know how to define him. There's Silk Spectre, who just wants to launch her modeling career. There's Dr. Manhattan, who is Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's two psychopaths.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know what? That could be so interesting. Like, you could go into the psychology of Rorschach. You could actually write a compelling story about him, because he has layers upon layers and layers.
Yeah.
They didn't do any of that. It was just a boring crime story where he puts glass in people's mouths and then punches their mouths so the glass comes out of their face. It sucked.
What if... It would have been more interesting had they gone into the lead-up to him killing for the first time. Because, like... Oh well, you repeat it from The Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get more detail on it, like... the stuff that was happening to push him to the breaking point. Like, obviously that was the straw that broke the camel's back, but there's probably shit that happened before that.
Oh, absolutely. He's not well at all. Like, all the stuff with his mom and whatnot.
Yeah.
That would have been so good. I'm just realizing it right now. Oh, man, it's such a missed opportunity. Azzarello, what are you doing, man? Although Lee Bermejo... illustrated, and I love Lee Bermejo so much. And then there's the one story called The Crimson Corsair, which is basically like a Black Freighter-esque story.
Okay.
Garbage. The worst thing in the entire series.
I mean, you take the Black Freighter, which neither of us enjoyed, and just expand it more. Okay.
And make it seem like it was written by a 5th grader? No. Dude, it was, I think, in top 3 most torturous experiences ever, because I was like, I'm just going to get through this now. I have no intent of putting this down tonight, getting up in the morning, reading it, putting it down, and then reading it, and then rinse and repeat 50 million more times. I was just like, just pound this out now. And get it over with, and type a nasty review. It doesn't deserve any more than that. And then all the other side stories were pretty disposable. I didn't enjoy them. Yeah. So that's my stance before Watchmen. If you're gonna read anything, you read Minutemen, Silk Spectre, and Dr. Manhattan.
I'll check those out.
Yeah, I think you really should. Minutemen, yeah, it was so freaking good.
Should I reread Watchmen beforehand?
No, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to. If you remember a lot about the story, it's mostly just about what happened to the
breakdown.
The team that was always referenced, like the Minutemen, that preceded the Watchmen. Like, it was always referenced and talked about, and I believe Hollis Mason's journal was adapted a little bit, like, in that story. So if you read Hollis Mason's journal in the original Watchmen, I think there's a lot of moments from that journal that have been adapted into the story. And the main cover has Hooded Justice in the front of it. That's his name, Hooded Justice. Yeah. The dude who beats up comedian.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting character, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Oh my god, there is something that gets revealed about him, and I was like, you know what? That's ballsy, and I like that. It's something near the end. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll just have to read it and find out.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not too high on your list, but if you ever get back into the Watchmen universe at any point, check that out.
I need to buy the Watchmen. I just took it out from the library, but it's one of the ones that I want to own. Like, The Amazing Screw-On Head. That's one I want to own.
The amazing... Oh, yeah!
I just took it out from the library for a second time to reread it. It's just a little short read, but I really like it. It was one of the funnier comics that I read. Like, I don't like a lot of comedy comics. Like, I can't stand Deadpool. Like, I can't. I tried reading, it was I haven't read the originals.
Marvel... Oh, he kills the Marvel Universe.
No, I read, Deadpool... Dead Presidents. which I heard very good things about.
Mm-hmm.
And I read another one. It was like, it was like an omnibus, like complete collection, volume 1 or something. It had the scrolls.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I can see what you mean. Yeah, I think successfully in my entire life, I've actually laughed aloud in 2 things in the comics. Because I don't know why. Like, if a comic is supposed to be scary, I never get scared, of course. Mm-hmm. And if a comic is supposed to be funny, there's just something about not hearing the line delivery or something that is not that appealing. But then again, I haven't read a lot of funny-esque comics.
One of the times that I actually laughed out loud from a comic was during that Hellboy story. It was the church, something about the church.
The church.
It was Complete Stories, Volume 1, 3rd story in there.
Mm-hmm. Dude, you keep referencing the book I could have brought. Goddamn. Anyway, yeah, go on.
And it's Hellboy, and he returns to the church where he was supposedly born, and the Duke of Hell that takes the witch,
mm-hmm.
and he's born of both of them, and in the first story arc, oh god, why am I forgetting it? Seed of Destruction, he sees 2 priests, or a priest and a nun, and those are found out to be his half siblings.
Okay.
But he's writing this all to a letter to Abe Sapien, because he saw all of that within his dream when he slept at the church.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then it just cuts randomly at the end after Hellboy wraps up and back at BPRD headquarters, Abe Sapien dreams of fish. Oh. It was because the story was so serious outside of that.
That's a stark contrast.
I know, and that's what I thought was funny about it. I
can see you laughing like a goof, just sitting on your bed, just laughing yourself stupid because of that. Yeah, no, that's... Well, okay, I want to talk about The Walking Dead a little more.
Okay.
But just before that, we're just gonna go on a little quick break here, and we'll be back in a second. Have you ever looked at your living room and thought, it's kind of empty in here? Have you ever wanted to buy a piece of furniture that didn't look like it came from the discount section at the Brick? Well, get on over to Vancouver Reclaimed. Custom wood furniture made from only the most beautiful reclaimed wood. From a coat rack, to custom signage, to a kitchen makeover, there is no better place to get handcrafted wood furniture made with the best materials. So get on over to www.vancouverreclaimed.com. That's www.vancouverreclaimed.com. Okay, so you are currently in the midst of your read through the Walking Dead, which I think is a series that I'll read when I'm not working as much or something, because as you said, you pretty much, how many issues did you read?
I read 180 issues over the course of 2 weeks.
Jesus,
or actually a week and a half.
Oh my god. It's insane.
I'm a bit of a maniac, but that's okay, right?
Yeah, that's wrong, especially if it's a series as addictive as that.
Yeah.
Because even with the the show, I think I mentioned this in episode 1 of this podcast, but I stayed home during spring break, and for the majority of it, if I wasn't working, I was just watching the show. And I can see I've watched what's the difference between the show and the comic, of course, and I can see why people, the book is better is that's the phrase, right? But only you can really attest to that, because I have never read the story. So
I like season 1 of The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's by the director of The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption. Did you know that?
No.
And so he knew how to make adaptations.
Yeah.
How he set up the first season was each episode was equivalent to 1 issue of the comic.
Okay.
And he would, with whatever extra time he had, he'd have other stories that he wanted to tell. he actually got fired from the second season for budget cuts and like disagreements. Like the studio wanted to make it so you didn't have to see the zombies, only like hear them just to save budget.
Okay, wait, hold up, what?
Yeah.
That's the wackest thing I've ever heard.
They had a bunch of terrible ideas just to keep the budget short. So they took another director instead. Well, actually, let me get back to Frank Darabont, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He wanted to, for season 2, he wanted to do pretty much the same thing where he'd take like an issue per episode, but he wanted to do different things. Like the lead up to like, at the outbreak, Dale and Andrea and her sister, like how they all met up and ran together. And also, do you remember in the first episode when Rick goes into that tank?
Oh, of course.
Do you remember the grenade that he finds with next to the guy? There's a...
I want to say I do, but I don't.
Okay, well, there's a guy in the tank. He's a military guy. And basically, there was going to be Sam Witwer. Do you know who that is? Okay. Yep. He was going to be that guy, and the episode was going to be the outbreak in Atlanta, and by the end, he gets overrun by zombies, and he's going to blow himself up with a grenade, but instead he just puts it down beside him.
Oh. Whoa. That's, so... Alright.
So a lot of interesting things that he wanted to do that didn't exactly follow the story, like the comic, but would have been welcome additions to the universe nonetheless.
Gotcha. And you mentioned what character? Oh, I thought you said Dale, not Daryl. Daryl, of course, is not in the book. What other characters are in the show that's not in the book?
In the show that are not in the book, I haven't watched the show in a long time, so I can't. I can remember the characters who are in the book, but not the show.
Okay.
Like there's a mechanic named Alan.
Mm-hmm.
He is in the book, and he dies pretty early on. But there's also another. Wait. Okay.
Was it T-Dog?
T-Dog. He's in the show, but he's not in the book. He wouldn't have added anything to the book, so I can see why he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they just added more characters in the show to appeal to broader audiences, like token black character.
Yeah, right, yeah. There's also differences between a lot of the characters. So, like Carol, she's a lot younger in the book, isn't she?
Yeah, and she actually dies fairly early on.
Oh.
Am I allowed to spoil that?
Oh, yeah, whatever. Okay. I'll put a spoiler warning at the beginning.
Well, yeah. She's much younger. I can't remember if her husband's with her at the beginning or it's just her and Sophia. But Sophia doesn't get lost and die.
Or was Sophia the one who had to look at the flowers?
No, she's the one that ran off at the beginning of season 2 and then went into the farm and died.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I don't think she's dead from where I've been reading right now. I mean, I haven't read it in a couple months, so I could be wrong, but I'm just going to pick up from where I left off, because I just ordered Compendium 4. So I'm just going to, finish that series up. I got to know the rest of what happened.
I mean, it is still going.
Oh, yeah, it's so good.
It
ended.
What? How do I not know this stuff?
I found that out just 2 months ago. Issue 193 was the last issue.
Wow, the cash cow is done.
I know. It was actually gonna end around issue, I think, 83 or something.
Oh yeah, that went to hell. Mr. Kirkman was just like, yeah, we can keep getting that cha-ching. Well, no, he probably had a lot more to tell.
No, but there was almost. I think some of the best stuff that happened in the story happened after that point or at that point.
You see, this is why people should stick with stuff, not. Especially even if you think the series is losing steam. My thing is if you're locked in the series, then you should at least finish it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And The Walking Dead, I can't say that about myself because I didn't ever start reading The Walking Dead. I mean, I feel like there would be a lot of stuff spoiled for me. Like I wouldn't be surprised by Glenn, of course.
Yeah. That was sad. I like Glenn.
Which did you ever get to that point in the show?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
that's season 8?
Yeah. No, beginning of season 7, I think. Okay. And I think so. You've read it. I've watched it. I have no idea which one is more impactful. Of course, we can't really say.
Yeah, I can't really compare because I haven't watched all that much Walking Dead in the last couple of years. But it was a very impactful death, albeit needlessly gory.
Yeah. Oh my god. What's the quote that Negan says?
Batter up.
Yeah, I just popped your skull so hard. Oh no, your eyeball just popped out. Yeah. What is there like you know how everybody says season 2 is like it's the farm season.
That one's terrible.
Right. Is there any point like that in the comic?
If there was ever going to be a point, I'd say it's near the beginning at the prison. They spend way too long at the prison.
The prison is at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At the end of book 1, I believe they find it.
Mm.
And or no, book 2. That's what it is. So about issue 24. It's not a bad part of the book. It just overstays its welcome compared to anywhere else. Right. I guess the same could be said about Alexandria when they get there, but things kind of move along. Like they meet like Negan, and some of the stuff is more focused on that than actually being at Alexandria.
Okay.
But still, the drama there is interesting enough.
Yeah.
So that I enjoy it. I really like. Okay, another point that I don't like currently was they find this bigger civilization. I'm talking around like issue 180 where I am.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay.
And
wait, you got like 3 issues left, don't you?
No, it's 193. I got
193. Oh yeah, okay.
I might be a bit below 180, but like 170 something. But it's just like I feel like it's leading up to too happy of an ending than Walking Dead deserves.
Yeah. Because
a lot of the stories are kind of like sad, and like it's more like all this shit happens, but they still have to move on with what they're doing.
Right.
Like Carol killed herself.
Right. Yeah, she even tried in the beginning as well.
Yeah, she just throws herself at zombies. She just runs right at them.
What a way to go.
I know. And everyone's pretty broken up about that. And like Dale and Andrea, they have to adopt Sophia.
Okay.
Oh no, not them. Glenn and Maggie.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
No, okay. Dale and Andrea adopt the twins that aren't in the movie or in the TV show. Yeah. That someone else has. They're Alan's kids and some other bitch. But Alan gets really depressed and then kills himself. So then the kids... And then they have to kill one of the kids because he's a psychopath. And wow. He kills the other one.
God damn, that is...
Actually, it's Carl who kills the other kid. Oh shit, should I have said that?
Carl!
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it's all good.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good.
You'll forget by the time you get to that point.
Yeah. Is this the beginning of where Michonne comes in?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Michonne.
Yeah, she has a small story arc, actually. And I showed you at my place. I've got the free comic book day.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm. Those are issues that are not collected in the omnibuses and all the
compendiums.
Yeah, all of them. They're not collected in that.
Yeah.
Actually, one of them is the Morgan Christmas special.
Okay.
It's I think at the end of this one that you have compendium number 1 right now.
Yep.
But only the issues in that, which have the Governor special, Michonne special, and Tyrese special.
Tyrese, yeah.
I like Tyrese. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of gets a little shady there for a little while because he's got... he was with Carol, but then...
Oh, then he cheated on her, right?
He did, yeah. I don't know if that's in the TV show.
No, definitely not. Wait, with who again?
He was with Carol.
Yeah.
And then he cheats on her with Michonne.
Michonne, okay, yeah. And then that's why Carol was going to kill herself.
Yeah.
And then she was going to try to get with Rick later on, right?
Yes. That is a thing that happened. Oh man, I forgot where I was going.
Well, I just wanted to ask you, which villain did you enjoy more, the Governor or Negan?
Oh, definitely Negan.
Okay.
What I was gonna say was, so the issue's in Free Comic Book Day, and there's also another one that's a short. It's not like a short. It's like a single volume of Here's Negan, and it's Negan's extended special.
Okay, I really admire that they had that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's good for story building. Also another thing that they have is the Walking Dead video games. They tie into the comic.
Oh, really? Yeah, the Walking Dead video games. Okay, yeah.
Glenn is at the beginning of the first Walking Dead season.
Yeah.
And it's the same Glenn that meets up with them in Atlanta.
Wow.
And there's during the New Frontier story arc, which is pretty much all of Compendium 4, there's Michonne and meet someone, or Michonne and Siddiq are just fishing on a boat pretty much the whole time, so they're not really in the story, but there's a Walking Dead season of them together, and when she meets him, and when they're on the boat.
Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine what you.
So it ties in with the series, but it doesn't have a huge impact on the series, because you know how it's choose your own adventure.
Oh, okay, I see. And you know what? Hearing stuff they have an entire special for Negan. It's in the show in season, is it 4 or 3? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 4. The Governor has an entire 5-episode stretch or something like that where it's just him, and that is so good because it makes you empathize with him. So when he does something terrible, you're like, no, you actually know the dude now, and then you see him do something terrible. And it's all the more impactful. I
don't like the Governor. He's kind of just a piece of shit in the show, or in the comic.
Yeah.
Literally the first time they meet him, he puts Rick into a fighting ring with zombies.
Yeah, right, okay.
And Michonne as well. Oh, there's him right after that.
So, he got his hand cut off.
Yeah, he gets his hand cut off really early he also rapes Michonne multiple times.
He rapes Michonne, and then Michonne gets back at him by cutting off his nutsack and poking out his eye and stuff.
Yeah, just mutilates him.
Oh God, that's horrible. This is right here.
Yeah, and I believe at the end of that is when he comes back, the end of that book. He comes back in a tank, and then he kills everyone at. Oh God, I just remembered the worst. Oh my God. Okay, well, he comes back with a tank, and they attack the prison.
Yeah.
And here's a little bit of a spoiler. Right there.
Yeah.
They're... What? Laura... No. What's her name?
Isn't it Laura?
Is it Laura? Rick's wife.
Rick's wife,
Okay, he's carrying the baby.
Oh, God.
And she gets shot through the stomach and falls on it, and they both die.
Falls on the baby!
Yeah.
Ah!
It's as you see, she's shot right through her stomach, so she's holding the baby right there.
Oh my Jesus! Yeah, I remember seeing this on YouTube.
That's something the show would never do.
No, she just dies at childbirth in the show.
Yeah.
And then Coral has to shoot her.
They can't kill a baby in a TV show.
No,
okay.
The baby stayed around for a long time and then comes back after Rick died. For 2 seconds. Give me a break. What is this here? Oh. Who's this right here? When I read this, eventually I'll forget about all this, but...
I don't remember. I think that's, Herschel, maybe.
Herschel, okay. We know what happened to Herschel in the show.
Yeah.
Why? Does the Governor get finished off right here? I think he might.
Starting Compendium.
Oh, boom! There you go.
Yeah, she kills him because he gave the command to kill the woman with the baby. and is very upset about that.
Dude, look at that eye.
I know.
My God, it's so great. I've also never seen gore like that in the show. I know the most gory thing I've ever seen in the show was that and Daryl. It's just like it's a 2-second thing that no one ever remembers. Really, he like closes the trunk of a car on a bunch of zombies, and it's like a waterfall of blood just goes. Whoosh.
Oh, I think I can imagine that. I remember seeing that. At one point.
It was like they were like, guys, look, we need like a liter of blood bags, and just blow them up because like I don't know, we have a surplus or something. It was over the top, but.
One thing that I find interesting is how the show has so much more time to do everything, but the book has more fleshed out characters. Like, the show just briefly touches on Rick being a little bit insane. Like,
yeah,
when he sees the ghost.
When he sees Lori, the ghost, oh, yeah.
Lori. I called her Laura.
Oops.
By, like, issue 50... Rick starts to go a little bit insane. Like right after they escape the prison, with him and Carl, they have a bunch of food. Rick he gets ill because of his injuries, and has like a fever. And Carl's gonna watch himself. Well, he might possibly die in the house. He doesn't.
Okay. Yeah.
But after that, he hears the phone ring.
The phone, yeah.
Did you get that far?
In the show?
Is it in the show?
Yeah. He hears like a bunch of voices.
Oh, okay. He only hears one voice on the other end.
Yeah.
And because of how the way they put it, you can't tell who's on the other line, but he says it's a woman's voice.
So you assume it's Lori.
No, you don't assume anything at all.
Oh, okay.
Or at least I didn't. Maybe I'm just a little dumb. But it's only revealed to Rick after like the 5th time she called. He's like, I never asked your name. What is it? And she's like, it's me, Rick. It's Lori.
Oh, that would have been so great to read that.
Yeah.
Did it blow your mind?
It did blow my mind.
Oh, yeah.
It blew my mind both times I read it, actually.
Both.
And so he hangs up, and just whenever he picks up the phone, he can hear her talking to him. And that's actually how him and Michonne bond, because she talks to her ex-boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, right.
Just kind of randomly. And she explains that sometimes it's like he's controlling her body to do things that she couldn't be able to do on her own.
Right.
So, and that's kind of how they bond over not being completely okay and talking to their dead loved ones. Because
I never really saw, I can kind of sense, just from the stuff I've seen from the comics, I don't feel like Michonne is completely hinged.
Yeah.
No.
She's not.
And speaking of unhinged or hinged or whatever, I think, who's the clear guy from the show? Morgan. No.
The queer guy?
No. Clean. No, clear. That's the quote from the show. This guy keeps saying clear.
Oh, that's Morgan.
That's Morgan, yeah.
He's not like that in the book.
Okay, good, because that was annoying.
Rick just goes back for him because they're passing by their hometown and they want to grab a few more guns. And I think that's how
he gets hit with a shovel or something, right?
Yeah. And so he brings Morgan back, but he's just a little different because his son has died.
His son? Oh, yeah.
And also in the first issue, that's where Morgan is, just for that. There's nothing about his wife. Rick doesn't stay the night or anything. Maybe he does, but it's only one night and he leaves right away. So in the show, they expand that a lot, and it's meaningful. So it's another thing that the later seasons didn't do.
Oh man, there's a lot of things the later seasons didn't do. And I'm not currently caught up on the latest season. I think I stopped right after they fake out killed Rick. And I was just like, you know what? I think this is going on for too long, but you know what? I like I said before, that like you said about the later stuff in The Walking Dead in the comic, like that some of the best stuff is from the near the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people probably just gave up before that.
Yeah, it's not like the older stuff is bad. Like there's some really good issues in there. There's one issue where they find out about how everybody has the infection.
Yeah.
This is revealed very early on in the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody has the infection, so when they die, they become a zombie.
Yeah.
So Rick goes on like a 10-hour adventure back to their old camp to find Shane's corpse.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably don't know this.
No, but
Shane dies.
right, like no, in the very beginning, right?
Yeah, he dies at the end of the first book, so about 12 issues in.
Yeah, Shane and Rick. That's the
Yeah. And Carl kills him.
Yeah. Okay, I do remember that.
But so Rick goes off on his own. He doesn't tell anybody where he's going.
Mhm.
He digs up the grave of Shane and then puts him out.
Ooh.
He goes back just for that, even though Shane he was like tried to take his family and like.
Yeah, he did a lot of scummy stuff, didn't
Yeah. And despite that, he wouldn't let him like suffer like that.
he? Right.
So it was a good issue. It was a meaningful issue.
Right.
I enjoyed it a lot. It was a nice break from the prison as well.
Yeah, because you not the most preferable stuff was in the prison.
Yeah, it's not that it was bad. It was like I just need to change the scenery, okay?
Oh yeah.
Oh, one of my favorite parts of the book was they meet some cannibals.
When was this?
Okay, this is some spoilers, okay?
Okay.
Do
Yeah,
you
no
want
problem.
them?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't. Maybe I shouldn't.
I feel like even if I later on when I get to this series, either I won't remember it or I'll read it even though I have the knowledge of it.
Mm.
Just go ahead. I'm too curious anyway now.
Okay. Well, this is Dale dies,
Mm-hmm.
but before he dies, he gets bit, and some cannibals take him and knock him out, and they don't know that he's bit, so they eat his body parts, and he just laughs at them, and they're like, "Stop laughing! Why are you laughing?"
While he's getting eaten?
Like they cut off his legs already.
Oh, okay,
and they're just going ham. He's just laughing at them because they're eating his infected flesh.
And it's funny because like when they turn into zombies, they'll probably be like no different.
Yeah,
cause
pretty much.
Already eaten humans.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up here soon, just so I can actually upload this without my computer freaking killing itself.
That's fair.
But I will say, I think do you have a recommendation just for like anybody who is interested in any of the stuff we talked about? I mean, I already recommended before Watchmen. Every time I talk about comics with anybody, I recommend Hellblazer because
I need to read that.
Either it's underrated or I just don't hear a lot about it, or it's too British or whatever the frick it is. But how about you? What do you think?
Most stuff by Mike Mignola.
Yeah.
Like the Hellboy stories.
Like read Hellboy if you haven't.
The complete story, or not the short stories. I don't care for those that much. Or The Walking Dead. Walking Dead is very
Right, yeah.
The cheapest way to buy The Walking Dead is in the compendium form. It has 48 issues and it's softcover.
Yeah, screw buying all the trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
That's just
A little more than $1 an issue, basically. Canadian at least.
yeah.
Cheapest way to buy Hellboy is in the complete stories, the omnibus.
The little omnibus things that they call omnibuses.
Yeah, like the cheapest way isn't to buy like the individual volumes.
No.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
never bought that. No.
They're like $30 for like 300 pages, and that's a good price.
Yeah. So anyway, if you take away anything from this, it's just that there's a lot of stuff that we've read and that we are reading that, take it with a grain of salt if you're into comics or whatnot.
Make your own opinions.
Yeah. And subscribe to the Muppet because hopefully he'll have a new upload soon. And stay tuned for that. If nothing happens, we'll all be disappointed. Not just no pressure.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah, then subscribe to me. Subscribe to me. Like and share. All that usual stuff everybody says. Subscribe, like, and share, and smash that like button and share with your friends and whatnot. So, anyway, this you've been in the loop with Max Wingrove and Jayden Pozzolo, aka the Muppet Master, and a lot of good discussions about comics and whatnot. So, I will see you guys next time in the loop.